Hey YouTube, welcome back. I just got back from the gym a while ago. I want to start recording what I'm eating in a day. And if you know better than I do about nutrition, feel free to critique. That'd be cool. I went to the doctor today for a follow up after a month. And while not a lot has changed, she was so thrilled at the start I've made that she hugged me. So I guess that's a good sign. But I'm going to try to keep better track of what I eat, which is something I've failed to do in the past. And I figure I'll document it here when I can. I may not be able to put out a video. I'm definitely not going to be able to put out a video every day. But every few days I might be able to show you some of the things that I've been eating. And today I kept track. Today I took pictures of everything. So let me show you what I got going on. Before I even get into that, I should probably tell you how I used to eat prior to 4 weeks ago, the kind of eating pattern that I will always fall into when I'm not making a conscious effort to eat better. What I will do is I'll wake up and drink coffee for the majority of the day because I don't usually feel very hungry when I wake up. I will wait until somewhere between lunch and dinner time, usually closer to dinner time, before I get famished. Then I will opt for a really fast and convenient and easy meal because by now I'm starving and I've been so busy. So I'll just throw frozen pizza or chicken nuggets or make a big pot of ramen, or I'll run out and get fast food or order Chinese. And I will eat way too much, probably 3 times the amount I should be having at a serving. It will spike my blood sugar. It will make me feel like crap for a couple hours after dinner. After feeling like crap before dinner because I waited until I was really hungry. But then I will wait 5, 6, 7 more hours, and then we get into the middle of the night, and then I get the munchies. And then I just go in the fridge and pantry and raid it and overeat things that I shouldn't be eating. And that's my terrible normal routine. So I have kind of a plan in mind, not using any kind of specific diet or diet plan, but I do have like goals for tweaking the way I eat to make it healthier, but I'm also trying not to overwhelm myself. So right now I have 5 goals. Number one is eating more steadily throughout the day. I want to eat at least 3 small meals and snacks as opposed to waiting until I'm starving and then totally overeating and then waiting until I'm starving again and overeating in the middle of the night. I want to reduce the amount of processed foods I have. I really do like to cook, and when I feel better and healthier, I don't mind getting up and cooking. But when you get in that cycle where you feel crappy because you're eating crap and you're not getting exercise and then your back hurts, that's a terrible cycle to be in because then you really don't want to get up and cook and make things better. So even if I can't totally cook, I'm trying to keep other options in the house that are easy to throw together, that are better than using the fast foods and the simple carbohydrate laden, high fat foods that I used to have. I'm opting for more complex carbs and higher fiber whenever I can. So if I was going to have eggs and toast, maybe instead of having a white toast, I'll swap it out for a slice of sprouted wheat toast. So just making little switches like that. I'm opting for healthier fats and leaner proteins. So I am trying to stay away from the things that are going to enhance my fatty liver disease and hopefully will not affect my liver as badly, and just in general drinking more water. Now, as time goes on and I get used to these, I might change my goals up a little bit, or I might set a little bit more stringent goals. But I didn't want to completely overwhelm myself and give up again. So I'm just taking this slow and steady, and this has made enough of a difference for me at this point where I am losing weight and I am getting better blood sugar readings so that I'm at a good start. I didn't want to completely come down and bring the hammer down on myself too hard all at once because it wouldn't have lasted. It's got to be a marathon, not a race. Today I started my day with some wasa whole grain crisp bread, and I like that because a regular slice of toast would be much higher in calories, and I can have two pieces of wasa crisp bread, and that it has no fat, it has no cholesterol, and it's only 8 grams of carbohydrates and 35 calories, so I could actually have two of them. And it's got a lot of fiber. It's got 3 grams of dietary fiber, so I'm kind of happy with that. That's almost as much as oatmeal. So, oh, and did I mention I really like them? This wasn't purely a choice based on the calories or the carbs. I actually really love the crunch of the crisp bread and the way it just holds whatever I want to put on it. Just I like the flavor, especially with something sweet. So in the mornings, I especially like to put something sweet on it. So I'm going to put a little bit of cherry yogurt here. It's a light cherry yogurt, so it's low in fat, or I think it's fat free. But I'm just going to give it a good smear. Instead of cream cheese, I use the yogurt, and it gives you that fruity flavor as well. And then I'm going to add even more fruity sweetness with some apple. I've got a small gala apple, and I'm not even going to use the whole thing. I'm using about maybe a little more than half, about 2/3 of the apple. My son tends to munch up on the rest, but I am going to finish the yogurt. And then to add a little bit more of richness and sweetness and flavor and protein, I'm going to add some almond butter. This is just pure almonds, doesn't have any kind of preservatives or stuff like that in it, which is good. And I mean, I love peanut butter and any kind of nut butters, but I'm trying to lay off the full fat peanut butter because of the fatty liver disease thing. So, nut butters like almond butter or sun butter, which is sunflower seeds, or even cashew butter. Just bring a little bit more protein and flavor to the party. I love this stuff, so I'm totally happy, and I'm getting hungry just looking at the pictures. But that is it, Breakfast of Champions, with my little bit of coffee. And in my coffee, I put one packet of Splenda and some fat free half and half, and I'm ready to go. That was how I started my morning around 9 a.m. And what is today? Today is Thursday the 19th. And that pretty much filled me up for the morning. I went out and I ran some errands, and like I said, I had a doctor's appointment. So by the time I came home, it was around 1 o'clock, and I was kind of hungry again. I wasn't really starving, but I knew that I wanted to go to the gym later, and I didn't want to end up getting in that hunger trap later in the afternoon. So I decided to have a hearty lunch because I had some leftover turkey bean chili, and I scooped about 1 cupful because I have a 1 cup size ladle. So I scooped 1 cupful into my bowl. Now, I made this turkey bean chili, so I know it's pretty low fat. Might be a little bit high in sodium, which I'm going to be careful with for the rest of the day because I did use canned beans. Although, when I use the canned kidney beans, because I've got so many from the lockdown that we stocked up on, I did rinse them and get all that sodium preservative goop off of them, so that helped get rid of some of the sodium. But I also used canned tomatoes. I had crushed tomatoes because I didn't have enough fresh tomatoes for it. But I did make it with no oil, and I put the turkey in, and I drained the turkey, and so I have the turkey, the beans, the lots of onions, lots of peppers from the garden because those are getting in season now. So I'm starting to really enjoy my little harvests. I put in lots of garlic and a bunch of spices, and I put in some cocoa powder because I like to put in some kind of chocolate, unsweetened chocolate, into my chilies. And I usually put a little bit of barbecue sauce in my chilies, but I didn't have barbecue sauce, so I just put in like a shot of Worcestershire sauce and a shot of balsamic vinegar to give it that barbecuey type taste, and a bunch of spices, cumin and salt and pepper and oregano, and of course chili seasonings and stuff. And I had this with some Blue Diamond nut thins on the side just to give myself a little bit of crunch. So about 3 hours later, I felt like having a little bit of a snack, and I had this tangerine. And then later on, I decided on an easy dinner because I had been so busy and I still wanted to get to the gym. So I rummaged around the freezer. I had these salmon burgers from Aldi's, and I'd never tried them before, but they're teriyaki salmon burgers, so I thought that might be good. That may not be the best choice because it's also processed, but salmon is still a good choice, and it does again have a little more sodium than I really want to eat in a sitting. But I was still under my sodium max for the day after I calculated it, and I figured the heck with it. It's gonna work for the night. And I prepared it in a nonstick pan with some nonstick spray, and it's actually quite good. It was nice and moist, and I do like it. And I put it on a little, instead of having it on a bun, I put it on a little bit of spinach, and I sliced up some avocado, and I squeezed some lime over the avocado, and I put that on top of it. I had a mini avocado. I used about half of that in total because some of the avocado also went on top of the potato instead of butter or anything. So I topped the potato with avocado and a little bit of cracked fresh ground black peppercorn. And I made a nice salad, most of which came out of my garden. So what do I got in there? I got spinach, kale, a couple of different kinds of lettuce, some shredded carrots, some cherry tomatoes, sliced cucumber. I think there's a couple of olives. I threw a can of olives in there when I made it. Some dried cranberries I threw that I had in the pantry. Handful of sunflower seeds. That might be it. I also put some kind of uh, orange Asian style dressing on it because I thought it would go nice with the teriyaki salmon burger, and it did. It was really good. And about an hour after dinner, I headed off to the gym, and I did the treadmill for 60 minutes on cardio, which had me on an incline somewhere between 4.5 and 9% grade most of the time. And I'm a slow walker, so I'm only doing this at zero point 0.8 miles an hour. But it was a good workout for me, and then another 5 minutes of cool down. And I did a little bit of stretching today, as per my physical therapist's instructions. And then by the time I came home, I wasn't really hungry. I was still kind of full from dinner. My stomach was still pretty. I still felt like I had a big meal, and I wasn't in the mood to really eat anymore. But I did kind of feel like after a while in the mood for something a little sweet. So I had myself some sugar free yogurt. Sorry, not yogurt, sugar free jello. I had orange and cherry sugar free jello in the fridge with a healthy dollop of Cool It, fat free Cool It. I also topped out at about 3.5 cups of coffee, which I try to keep it to 3 or 4 a day, so that worked. And I did have about 4 or 5 16-ounce bottles of water, so staying well hydrated because I also had a glass of Crystal Light. So, if I had to look at what I ate and give myself a little bit of a critique, I would say that I had a good balance of complex carbs and fiber, of protein and fat. I did choose some healthier fats and leaner proteins, and I had a good amount of fruits and veggies. But what I do need to work on is with the canned beans and the canned tomatoes and the chili and the frozen salmon. It was kind of a high processed food day. I chose better processed foods than I used to because I think that salmon burger was definitely a much better option than, say, frozen fried chicken or frozen pizza. But it did kind of max my sodium allowance, and I need to be more careful of that because I don't want to do that every single day. But overall, I think it was a good day. I also think I still use a lot of artificial sweeteners. I don't use a lot of sugar or anything. I tend to put the artificial sweeteners in my coffee, one packet per shot, and I tend to eat a lot of like sugar-free ice pops or sugar-free jello or sugar-free pudding. I tend to go for those because it keeps my blood sugar a little bit lower, and this way I do get a little bit of that taste and flavor that I'm craving without going overboard. But I do think that I need to learn to fan it out a little bit more so I'm not eating as much in a day and maybe make it a little bit more of a treat in my day as opposed to something that I go back to several times. But that's something to work on. For right now, I'm going to see how it's doing for me, and I'm just going to go with it because I've already made a lot of changes. So I guess that's it. Thank you for watching. Thanks for listening, and I will see you soon.